there, just gonna go over a quick and easy weeknight meal on Teacher Mom Cooks. It's gonna be nutritious, delicious, and everyone's gonna love it. First of all, tonight we're gonna have salmon burgers. Super easy on a weeknight. We get the big bag from Costco, but if you don't wanna make that kind of commitment, you can get smaller boxes at your grocery store. In particular, we like the wild caught Alaskan salmon burgers, but what you choose is up to you. So these are just gonna get thrown on the grill. They take about 5 minutes aside. Super easy main dish. On the side, to keep things easy and quick, I have a sunflower crunch salad kit that goes really well with the salmon burgers. A coleslaw kit is also perfect for this, or you don't even have to do the salad because you'll see we're gonna put lots of veggies on the salmon burgers, and we're gonna have some smashed potatoes on the side. But if you like that little extra veggie, especially to get some nutrition into your kiddos, coleslaw kit, sunflower crisp kit, both delicious with a classic salmon burger. All right, so these are gonna go on the grill, but before I grill them, I'm gonna take some Yukon Gold potatoes. I just happened to buy the 5-pound bag at the grocery store because it was on sale. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look them over real quick. I'm gonna cut out any bad spots. Once I've checked them over, cleaned them up, cut out any bad spots, I'm gonna take my fork and I'm gonna poke 3 or 4 holes in each one. Poking the holes in each one is gonna keep them from exploding in the microwave. Now, there's lots of smashed potatoes recipes that have you boil the potatoes before you pop them in the oven. But I don't have time to salt and boil water and clean up an extra pan, so I'm gonna microwave them to make these potatoes nice and soft. When you have medium potatoes about this size, usually about 6 minutes in the microwave will do it. I'm gonna put them in an even single layer in a dish that's microwave safe, where they can all lay flat without overlapping. To that dish, I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of water, because remember, they're steaming in the microwave, so we need some water to make sure they steam. And then I'm also gonna cover that dish with a damp paper towel so I don't just let all the steam out. However, if some steam does escape, it's a great time to wipe down your microwave because that steam will get any stuck on gunk right out of there. All right, so let's get these suckers popped in the microwave. You also want to make sure you use a dish that actually fits in the microwave. I've put them in a 13x9 before and that did not fit in the microwave and I had to begin again. So I have a little square glass dish that I love to use for this purpose. This one right here even has a cover, so that way I don't have to worry about covering it with a plastic lid or a damp paper towel. All right, so remember you're gonna poke 3 or 4 holes in each potato. Well, 3 or 4 sets of holes technically. Now, a fun fact about potatoes like this is that they have more potassium than a banana. They can also be rich, I believe, in vitamin C it is, and when they're gold like this, we also know that there's some antioxidants in there and maybe some beta carotene. I also like to leave the skin on so my children get some fiber, just keeps everything moving. All right, so that's what goes in my dish as of right now. Got some holes in each potato, nothing's gonna explode or blow up. You add my water and cover my dish. I'm just gonna eyeball about a tablespoon. Good enough. Now, while these are microwaving, while those are in the microwave, we are going to do 2 things. We're gonna make sure our oven is preheated, and I like to do around 425 Fahrenheit. So we're gonna make sure our oven is preheated, and we're gonna jazz up these salmon burgers and make them a little bit exciting. We're gonna go with a classic salmon burger, so we're gonna use tartar sauce. We have some green leaf lettuce slices to put on top, a couple slices of red onion, really thinly sliced. If you've got little kids, it might be strong for them. And then some slices of these beautiful summer beefsteak tomatoes I have. The real kicker is gonna be tartar sauce. I like to make mine homemade. If you're super busy, it is totally fine to use store-bought tartar sauce. No one's gonna be mad at you and it's gonna taste great. So, tartar sauce sounds complicated, but it's not. In a small bowl, we are going to mix up a few things. Let me see. We are going to add mayonnaise. This tartar sauce will also be excellent on the smashed potatoes. So I like to make enough where I use a full cup of mayonnaise, and that leaves us enough for dipping our potatoes in. That looks like about a half cup. Squeeze in a little more, get a full cup. And the other thing we're gonna use is 1 cup of chopped dill potatoes. Not dill potatoes, chopped dill pickles. We're gonna chop up about a cup of dill pickles. We want the ratio of mayonnaise to pickles to be similar. These dill pickles make it tart, and they also make it extremely salty. I like to take dill pickle spears and I quarter them, and then I just slice them up. Once again, store-bought tartar sauce is fine. Once these dill pickles get into the dip, I'm also going to add about a tablespoon of lemon juice, and it just so happens I have a lemon that I use the rind for in a different recipe, so give me a chance to finish up this lesson. Add lemon. The pickles are super salty, so they'll be salty enough. I don't need more salt. I am going to add pepper. I like fresh parsley. I don't have any, so just jarred parsley, and a little squeeze of honey, just to give it a touch of sweetness to offset all of that salt and tang. So let me get chopping up my pickles here, and then we're gonna mix it all together to go on these salmon burgers. For the salmon burgers, I am using a brioche style bun. It is awesome toasted. If you don't wanna throw it on the grill for the last couple of minutes, because it's just an extra step you don't wanna do, untoasted is totally fine and will work super well. So let's see here. Oh, I hear the potatoes cooking in the microwave. Something's happening back there. I have to lock my stove so I don't actually cook my cutting board here. All right, so chopping up my pickles, it's gonna be great. It's gonna make a super duper awesome spread on my salmon burger. Now, if you wanted to go California style on these salmon burgers, if you have kids who might not be into tartar sauce, or maybe you're not into it, you could also spread the buns with some smashed avocado, go kind of California style. Maybe do some smashed avocado, some microgreens, and some cilantro lime sauce. Little tomato, that would be an excellent California style salmon burger. Some kids like their salmon burger just brushed with teriyaki sauce right before it's done cooking on the grill, and then they kind of have an Asian style salmon burger. That would be delicious as well, a little bit simpler. I'm trying to think here. I think that's about all I have for the versatile salmon burgers. Some people like them with buns. Someone like them as salmon patties, salmon cake style, kind of like crab cakes. And that works too if you're maybe looking for a lower carb option or you need something gluten-free. I will say these wild-caught Alaskan salmon burgers from Trident, they are gluten-free. So if that is something for you, then you can just enjoy them plain grilled and dip them in the tartar sauce and enjoy the potatoes on the side. All right, so I'm just gonna grab a bigger knife and really finely chop these pickles, because remember, we're making it like a spread. I'm kind of cutting them up more like a dip, but I have to remember this is going to be spread on a bun, so you don't want any huge chunks, or all you'll taste is pickle as you eat your salmon burger. You've got more parts to it than that. So, as you notice, I'm going to finish this tartar sauce and still have time left on my potatoes, which is amazing. This is, you know, a 15-minute dinner kind of night, and that's okay, because I have to go and pick my son up from work. His Jeep is not working today, and that's okay, but I have to go pick up my son from work, and he's going to be starving, and then come home and have dinner ready, especially for my younger son, who will be at home waiting for dinner. If my husband gets home before I leave, I'm going to have him start the grill and throw the salmon burgers right on the grill. Also, if you have a kiddo learning knife skills, or it's summer and you're bored, have them chop up the pickles. It's a great practice for knife skills. So that was 3 large pickle spears, probably equal to about a cup of chopped pickle. Going right in the bowl with everybody else. Got my lemon. Just gonna slice that wide open. Give it a strong squeeze into the tartar sauce. Some people like to add a little bit of Dijon mustard to this as well, make it more of almost like a remoulade sauce, but I am happy with just the basics. Right, little bit of honey, not too much because it's not supposed to be terribly sweet. Got my pepper. You can add a little bit more dill as well if you want. I find that dill pickles are kind of dill enough, especially with that lemon juice. I like a peppery flavor, so I'm going for it here. A little bit of parsley just to give it kind of that fresh, clean flavor. A little bit of parsley goes a long way in many, many things. So I don't have fresh, but I do have organic dried. So we're just gonna shake that on in there, give it some freshness. The other thing I like to add, and this is why we're doing this ahead of time today, the other thing I like to add is some minced onion. You don't want to do this ahead of time, just add a little onion powder, but this gives the minced onion a chance to kind of rehydrate, and it'll soak up some of the juice from those pickles, so that way you don't get a soggy or watery sauce. Okie dokie. That's going to sit a minute while I check on my potatoes in the microwave. It's going to be hot. I'm going to need my pot holders. All right, so let's check these out. Let's see if they are done enough or if they need to be flipped. Look at all that steam coming up. I learned long ago when you have an electric glass cooktop, never set a hot lid down on top of it. Someone told me that as this cools, it'll suction cup to the glass cooktop and you'll never be able to pull it up, or if you do, you're gonna shatter your cooktop. So I always set it over here on the counter. Kind of a fun little thing. Let's see, my guy in the middle doesn't quite feel done. That guy does, this guy does not. This guy feels done. So I'm gonna pull out the ones that feel done because my fork's going right into them. Oh, that guy's definitely done. He got a good cook. This guy's done. All right, you two. I'm gonna flip you over, give you like another 3 minutes. And here's my lid, not suction cupped to the glass cooktop. Back in they go. Let's give them 3 minutes and see how they do. In the meantime, with these other potatoes, I'm gonna cut them, I wish I could do thirds, but that's kind of tricky. I'm gonna do fourths, and then we're gonna smush them. We're gonna drizzle them with some olive oil, salt, and garlic pepper, and they're gonna be really crispy. Now, the thinner I smush these, the crispier they're gonna get. Some people don't like them too thin because they like that little bit of tender potato in the middle, and that's totally fine too. Both ways are excellent for doing this. Getting hot. So, let me spread a piece of parchment paper onto a cookie sheet because what I don't want is to have to scrub a pan after all of this. So, I've got my parchment paper, I've got my cookie sheet, and let's go ahead and start smushing up these potatoes. Something tells me it would be a good idea to spray this pan before I start smushing potatoes on it because I don't want to have all my potatoes completely stuck to the paper. So I'm using avocado spray because I know that can withstand a nice high heat without burning anything. So since my oven's 425, I'm using that avocado spray. I'm gonna lay out these potatoes so that they don't touch each other. Because if they touch each other, they're gonna end up just steaming themselves more and we won't get that crispiness that we want. Now, some people say to mix up a garlic butter and brush each potato, do things like that. I'm gonna say we're probably just gonna spray them with cooking spray one more time because I could use olive oil, but the more I think about it, I think I'm gonna go with that avocado oil spray. And then I'm gonna season them with my favorite seasoning. In our house, we love the Red Robin French fry seasoning because we love the restaurant Red Robin. However, if you don't have that, garlic, salt, and pepper, maybe sprinkle with a little bit more parsley, works beautifully. Or just salt and pepper. Any of the above works. So let's see, I need to squish these. Let me get a glass to squish with. Perfect. So, squish. Oh, they're squishing so beautifully. I love this. I'm starting to wonder if I should have left a little more room though, because they definitely expand when they squish. Another thing too is if your glass is sticking to your potatoes, if you took the skins off, because some people like peeled potatoes. I like all the fiber and the skin and the crunchiness of it. But if you didn't peel your potatoes, you can always spray the bottom of your glass with a little bit of non-stick spray, and that'll keep the potatoes from sticking to it. That is certainly another option. Oh, perfect. Look, my last 2 potatoes just finished up in the microwave, so I think that's going to be awesome. Now I'm wondering if I should go skin side down. You know, I'm going to flip these and go skin side down on the pan. I think that's going to crisp the skin up really nicely, at least the ones that I can flip. Some of them I smush so much, they're not really flippable anymore. Okay, so here we are, skin side down. Oh, these look so perfect. All of my smushy potatoes looking so good. Okay. Oh, pot holders. Don't want to burn my hands off with the steaming bowl. Okay, so here we are, steaming bowl again. I'm gonna quarter these potatoes up and smush them on a cookie sheet and get those in the oven. Because I've already pretty much cooked them by steaming them, these don't need super long to bake in the oven, which is awesome. Because remember, we're trying to have a quick weeknight meal that's not too much to make. We don't want to be stressed out. We don't want to have to clean up forever. So, with the salmon burgers being so easy and the salad being on the side, the real work is really only the tartar sauce, if you're doing that homemade, which can be store-bought, and doing the potatoes. I like making these potatoes better than bagged French fries or potato chips because they don't have any preservatives, they're a little bit fresher, and you can leave the skins on, giving yourself some more fiber and nutrients. But if you think about all of that cooking time there was 9 minutes total. So in 9 minutes, I've made this gorgeous side dish. Look, it's sticking to the glass. So I'm gonna spray the bottom of this glass as I smush, because that's gonna prevent my glass from sticking to the potatoes. I also think if I give kind of like a sideways swipe when I'm done smushing, that kind of keeps it from sticking too much. Okay. So I've got all of my smushed potatoes, not overlapping because we want them to get as crispy as can be. Everyone see all my smushed potatoes not overlapping? I'm just gonna spray them with cooking spray. Kind of a nice coating because that's gonna help them crisp. Then I'm gonna use French fry seasoning and get them into this preheated oven. All right, let's see, I don't wanna go too much because I don't wanna be too salty, but I definitely like a fair amount. So here we are. All right, and then these will pop into the oven for about 15 to 22 minutes. I don't think there's really a need to flip them halfway through or anything like that. So while that sits, I can go ahead and get my salmon burger. While these go in the oven, I can get my salmon burgers on the grill, mix up my tartar sauce, mix up my salad, and voila, we have a very quick dinner that I was able to put together in under 15 minutes. Enjoy, y'all.